Hi. We're waiting for Erin to get logged on. Thanks for logging on if you're here with us. With me. Erin had to restart her computer really quick. You know, technical things, always a thing. We are using a software called Riverside to do this, and it's pretty cool. So hopefully we can use in the future. So we're testing it out today to see if it's something that we want to continue to use because we are thinking about doing more live shows. So yeah. Thank you so much, Rosa. I hope you're having a blessed day too and a blessed night. Have you seen any of the coverage of Megan coming out of Fashion Week? She's been, there's so many pictures. She looks beautiful. Oh, here's Erin.
Hi.
There you are. Much better.
Is much better. Oh,
But it's still so pixelated.
I know. It's because, you know,
It's the can't. Okay, we're gonna have to work on that part of things. I actually have a computer I can give you.
okay. Yeah. Or I can go live because going live on my phone, like when we go from like TikTok and stuff, is fine. It's just like doing my laptop. I don't know.
If you have an iPad though, you can download the Riverside app and use that to.
My iPad is an iPad 2 from like 2014.
We're gonna work on this technology thing. I didn't know that we're. I have a computer for you. You can have it.
Yeah, I know. I've just been in like corporate, so everyone was giving me free stuff.
Yeah, I had that same thing, and then I finally had to spend the money on like spending like on a nice computer too because of the editing and stuff. I'm like, dang
But
it!
I'm an influencer, so my iPhone is the latest and
You
greatest.
gotta have well, you gotta have the new technology if you make media, in my opinion. I think like
I know it's funny because I had the
yeah,
brand newest of Apple laptops, and then I just like didn't need it anymore.
I okay. So I have a laptop. I'll just tell you about the laptop. It just needs a new screen. So and then it's I think the screen's like 160 for the part. So we'll just do that.
Oh, I like
Thank
that.
you for
My
joining
my
us on the live. It's
can
Megan
you
like us
see?
live. We have some people in the chat. They're here.
Oh my god, I love that. I can't even see myself.
That's funny.
I might join this from my laptop, Danielle, or from my iPhone, Danielle.
I think you should. It's gonna be easier. And Riverside does multitasking.
I know. I just wanted to edit this video so that I could post it on my TikTok to say that we're going live, but I can't do that and my like I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I
I'm
can't
sorry.
edit my CapCut.
Sorry. We we clearly planned this out very far in advance, and we're clearly very, very, very planned.
Sorry everyone. Okay, I'm gonna join this from my iPhone, Danielle.
Well, okay. Well, Aaron's gonna disconnect. I'll chat with you guys about Megan at Balenciaga. I have been looking at the pictures of her coming out of there, and she looks so beautiful. I loved the black or the white look when she's like looking off her shoulder. And I also loved the Armani suits they wore last night when they received that award, the humanitarian award for their work in like the bullying space. I thought it was just really cute to like this era like of Megan kind of just like popping out, and I love that she's like she you don't see her, and then when you see her she pops out, and like that's very relatable to me because I like to be in the house, but I also love to like have a fashion moment. And yeah, I like to be working on my crafts and cooking and stuff, but then I also love like to see my friends and like have cool outfits, you know, the whole normal thing. If you're just logging on with us now, Erin went to reset her computer, but she's going to be back on with us in just a bit. We are chatting right now just a little bit about Megan at Balenciaga. I saw and her looks, and then also the Armani look last night at the Humanitarian Award, which they received. Yeah, she looks amazing. I've also been like peeping that skin. And I saw that Daniel Martin, friend of the show, friend to Megan, also was giving like some tips on like how she gets that glow. And of course, there's a hater in the, the midst saying, "Oh, well, we thought Megan looked greasy and she looks sweaty." And it's like everyone's been trying to look dewy the last 3, 4 years with their makeup. Like every single person that's come out with the line from Gaga to Fenty, um, Pat McGrath, they've all had like this glow to them. Pat McGrath even so that the skin thing that she was doing was like like a porcelain look. Like it's very much about glossy and glowy. So I guess when Megan does it, it's a problem. Per usual. We're still waiting for Erin to get back in here. Where's our girl? There
I'm
she
back.
is. That's what it should look like.
Yeah, sharp and ready.
It's worth it, I promise.
Yeah, no, I know. I like couldn't even see myself. So I'm like, how can I look at myself like, when will my reflection, you know?
Well, we were just chatting a little bit about Megan at Balenciaga, how she looked, her makeup looks, and also a little bit of the haters and how they were saying that from Daniel's article about talking about her glowy skin to people being like, "Oh, she's greasy," and it's like, what? Like the last,
Someone said she looked greasy.
yeah, they said she looked greasy, and I know,
That's a microaggression. That's a macroaggression. Greasy?
aggression, especially when, and I said this right before you got on. I'm like, 4 or 5 years, every brand from Fenty to House Labs with Gaga has been doing all these like glowy, like glistening looks. Even Pat McGrath doing the most extreme version of that and doing like the porcelain look where you look like actual glass. So it's like clearly everyone wants to do this like glossy, healthy, dewy look. But when Megan does it, it's an issue. And it's like, of course it's a problem. They're probably mad her hair was in a ponytail too.
Also, like the greasiness just like reminds me there was a time, gosh, I don't know, I must have been in like this was the 90s. So I was in elementary school and I had like my baby hairs like and I'm not one you can see now. I'm not one to like slick down my baby hairs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I wanted to look like the girls in TLC. And so I was like trying to have my chili on and I was like slicking down my baby hairs. I'll never forget someone was like, "Are you sweating? Like why is your hair?" And like they thought I looked greasy and I was like I can't even as like a little kid was like I can't even describe to you how uncultured you are if you think that this is greasy.
I just remember like the time that I was like, oh no. It's like we got our hair done and we had to get a couple little extra greases on our edges on our, and I was like, oh. But it's funny because now years later I do that. Like I have some products, like I lay my edges down a little bit, especially when I'm doing like updos and stuff that's like more polished on a pretty day, like a wedding or whatever.
I do like the bedhead stick. Like I feel like
Oh,
that
that
wax
one's good
stick
too.
is the key. And then like the classic is using like jam as a product and doing let's jam on your edges.
On
Like
the
that
edges?
is I wonder if Megan has some jam in her house.
She feels like to me she
Like
would
live.
Megan would have like the pink lotion at her house and like blue magic. Like to me, she would be like, "This is what my grandma used, so this is how I know how to use it." And so this
Is
is
she
what
gonna
everyone uses.
use? Is she putting pink lotion in what is it, Lilibet's hair?
Oh, I hope. I mean, I don't know because sometimes people with curly hair they could use a little moisture no matter what their curl
I feel
pattern
like
is.
they're using Sacred or something. I would love nothing more than to see a photo of Megan having pink lotion bottle and putting that in that baby's hair. That would it would just be everything to me.
All right. So if you're just joining us, welcome to our first live edition of Megan Like Us. We're doing something different. It's a live version of the show. We are going to be just doing some yapping, not much of a recap of the episode, but we're going to be, we're stepping out of the couch, the green couch, and welcoming you to our homes. And we're talking about pop culture, some music, Cardi, Taylor, Also, while you're here, make sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing. We're going to be looking into the chat and seeing the comments, and we're going to be chatting with you. And then also later, and I are going to be, Erin and I are getting into a Q&A. So she's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to ask her some questions. So we're just hanging out with you for 2 hours, seeing how this goes. And hopefully this is fun and was something we can do in the future.
And make sure to share the live with your people so that you guys can talk about us or talk about if you think you're like us. So share it with anyone that you think is like us, like you, like me, like us, and we will be here to chat.
All right, so
Kevin Vasquez says that his family loves Elvis and MJ. And we are also big Elvis and MJ fans here.
Yeah, we're into that. I believe I really like Elvis's gospel music. That's always like a musical inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like actually in the biopic, there's a moment that's very spiritual, that Austin Butler played, like when he's playing Elvis, that you see this like spiritual moment that happens. I don't know about that movie in totality, but I do like that there are like certain moments of that movie that are just such a spectacle, that really encapsulate that like gospel influence into Elvis's music.
Yeah, I love that 70s rock, 70s gospel kind of sound. It's real fun. I think like it's very like southern rock inspired, and I don't know, I like all that. It's fun. It's like the perfect blend of genres that like make you feel something.
So Kevin, you are like us, and we love that you're here. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here, Kevin. Make sure you're liking. I don't know what the things are on YouTube. Do all the things. Click them.
You thumbs up, you subscribe, and you share.
We love that.
And you enjoy.
Hi,
Love it.
We also have been talking about, I mean, honestly, every single app I opened this week has been Taylor Swift. Like I'll open up like I'm not even kidding, Erin. I opened up the music app and I was like, I'm gonna play this song. The very next song was Are You Ready for It, Taylor Swift. And I'm like, how is this real? Like I'll open up TikTok, all of the content creators and every pillar of like content I follow, like my political follows, it's Taylor. I'm looking into like lifestyle content and it's Taylor. Like of course I follow a lot of music and arts and like people that do like PR and like kind of some press and brand stuff. They're all talking about Taylor. So I'm like, how is this? And then my old boss starts posting about Taylor, and I'm like, this is unreal.
We need to talk about Taylor, apparently.
We need to talk about Taylor.
I mean, I would say that like I did listen to the new album. And to your point, I think when I opened TikTok today, the very first video was someone saying that The Life of a Showgirl is Taylor Swift's version of The Life of Pablo, which I don't actually agree with because The Life of Pablo is a very, very good album. But their point was that like that was Kanye's foray into some like his beginnings of the end of being weird, and everyone was like, this is Taylor's beginning of her end. And I don't know if it's the beginning of her end. I don't know if Taylor has an end, but I do think that like she is now with this album going to be forced to reflect on what her art will be and move forward in a different way. Although there are a couple songs that like I kind of like. I think my favorite song is like every time someone lists their songs and ranks them, it's like number 10 on their list. And I'm like, okay, I think I have good taste and I think no one else has good taste. So I like Honey on the album. But I don't know. I don't know if this is her end. Like it could be, but I think she has some juice left in her pipe. But I also think, maybe she was just in love and like a little too busy to write
Really
things down in Travis's off
like,
season.
Literally, like I'm like, she's on vacation, she's got a man, she wasn't on tour. Like I can just imagine. The thing is, and what I do think like is a cause that people could get behind on a larger perspective sometimes is that these artists are actually workers, and sometimes their working conditions actually aren't ideal. And like even though we do glamorize the money that they make and the fame that they receive, a lot of the times the actual lived experience is not that great. I mean, people's bodies break down, they lose their voices, and they still have to perform X amount of shows to fulfill contracts. Like we've all seen Dreamgirls, and and so it's like it's unfortunate that that happens to artists. But I think like sometimes like you can just be honest and be like, girl, you guys, I just phoned it in. And I saw like in her interviews this week, through the
That she
fandom.
was kept saying that it was like the album she worked the hardest on, that it was like her thing she's most proud of, that it was like one of my favorite creators is this guy named T. Kyle, and he was saying like, I think that this is Max Martin's Britney Jean, and that feels like the most accurate depiction of what this album is to me. Which
Mm.
like Britney Spears being like, this is my most personal album yet, and like, do you know a song from Britney Jean? No, no one
No,
does.
no, no, that's
It's like
on.
it's not Britney's best album.
Yeah, it's the album that they let them bother with the most. You know what I mean? Like it's Kelly Clarkson's second album, you know, where they were like, Clive, let her do her thing. And then he was like, look, I know I'm right. Let me get you pop albums and pop songs. And then she got back on track, you know, because they're workers. And then she did what she was supposed to do and fulfilled that album requirement, right? So
Exactly.
I'm just being
Exactly.
honest.
Or like, I don't know, like maybe in her head she was like, I'm going for something different. And the different was that I saw someone else say something that like for Taylor Swift, usually she creates her own melodies and then she writes lyrics to her melodies that she's already created. And this way it felt like she had lyrics that then got jammed
Yeah,
into melodies. So then all of the lyrics don't really feel as like they're as aligned. And so I think that maybe that was a part of it.
I can hear that.
Yeah.
Honestly. I also think like this album is weird to me because I know she's done like, you know, kind of interpolations before, like in Cruel Summer, like is St. Vincent or whatever. And then like there's other stuff she's had where she's like interpolated stuff from people. But I felt something was weird about the Jackson 5 flip thing to me. And something was also weird to me about that song that opens like Panic at the Disco.
Okay, hot take. Is it Jackson 5 or is it
Yeah.
Katy Perry's Smile? Because it
No.
also sounds like the beginning. No, because my first gut instinct was like, oh, this sounds like Jackson 5. And then was like, you know what other song kind of sounds like that in the beginning is Katy Perry's Smile. And it almost sounds more, this is just my own personal, like it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I'm telling you, when I listen to it, I also am like, this is the beginning of Katy Perry's
I hear
Smile.
it. I hear it, but this is where it's different for me. Have you heard the song that Smile is sampled?
I don't know what Smile is
That will
sampled from, but it sounds like it's Smile.
that will separate that for you very easily.
What song is it sampling?
It's from Naughty by Nature Jamboree.
That song sounds like Jackson 5.
I know a jam, jam.
That song
I know a
is
jam.
kind of like I Want You Back.
It has like the
And by the way, Smile gets into Jamboree, but the very beginning beats aren't on it's not that yet. The very beginning beats
it's
sound
not, no, it's no one's saying it's no one's saying it's a sample.
yeah.
Like a sample and interpolation.
No, I know the
It's all
difference. I'm
different,
saying
right?
like,
So, like,
no, I know.
I say the version. So basically, what you could do is like use the same thing, but like use different keys, right? Like you can also do it that way, where it's different keys, but it's the same song, and it's like the same tempo and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And so like maybe just play it up or down or whatever, or you flip it, and it sounds like they flipped it, but it sounds a little too close. To me, it's almost in that like
It's just a
Pharrell,
weird song
Robin
to
Thicke,
it's
like
just a weird song to
Robin Gay
interpolate.
area.
It's just a
Yeah,
weird
we
song
don't
to
need it.
interpolate.
We didn't need it. That's probably why I feel that way.
And also like no one thinks of Michael Jackson when they think of Taylor Swift. So like that was also like it just all of it was just weird choices.
I saw a meme that actually was very hugely viral about a year and a half ago, and it was Taylor doing that dance for "Are You Ready for It," where she kind of like does that, and they were like, Michael Jackson, like, and they were being serious. They were like, Michael Jackson can't like do what Taylor does or something like that. And that was the dance she was doing. And
Spooky.
so
That's
every time I hear
spooky.
that song, I do think of Michael Jackson now.
Spooky.
I'm not lying. I said it yesterday. I said when the song played earlier, when it came on shuffle, I was like, KO, it's Michael Jackson.
I'm spooked. I don't like that. There was also other new music that came out this week or in the last week or two. When Taylor released her album, there's Mariah Carey. My eye is itching so bad.
Yeah, you did a deep dive into Mariah Carey's album. What's been your favorite track so far?
I love Mariah Carey's album, and her "Here for It All" is such a good song. The song with Anderson .Paak is really good. I think he produced a few songs on the album, and
I
then
love
she
that.
also has. I'm gonna pull it up just so that I'm not talking from my butt. But she also has a gospel track, and it's the very last song on the album. And it's
I love Mariah
called
gospel
it's
songs.
called Here for It All. I really like Here for It All. I like I Won't Allow It. I liked Jesus I Do. Those are my like top three favorite.
I love that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
listen to it. I was still kind of getting through Taylor this week,
Yeah.
and finishing up Cardi at the start of the week, which I'm actually still into that
Can I
album.
read you the lyric, one of my favorite lyrics
Yeah,
from the Mariah Carey
yeah,
album? And she like
she
has
kisses
a
it.
she has a song and she mentions Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
And
you told me about that.
it's so funny. She hold on, lyrics. The song is called I Won't Allow It. And the theme of the song is like basically being like, I'm not going to entertain your narcissistic ways. Like, you're narcissistic and I'm not going to entertain you. I will not allow it.
Mhm.
Which I love. And the very first verse of the song is she's like, you're going to see me outside with $1 billion bay. Please enjoy your Chick-fil-A. What are you gonna do when we go? Well, what are you gonna do when we go our separate ways? I'm gonna level up, and you're gonna be eating Chick-fil-A outside. I love that.
You know what?
It's
I
so
feel like
good.
I feel
She's
like
like,
there is
I'm
a
not here for the
precedent there.
rigmarole. You
Do you
know what I
remember
mean?
when Mariah Carey had sued that person for wasting her
Wasting her
time?
time. Yes.
So, like, I feel like she knows. She's like, "Look, Chick-fil-A, that's your future."
Like, also the person that
Chick-fil-A
she,
futures.
the guy that she sued and won for wasting her time, he was he was a billionaire or close to. And the thing is they had been together for a long time, but I think she was able to say he wasted her time because it was like a never consummated relationship.
Mm,
And on top of that, she had like
canceled work
not,
and
she had canceled some work
yeah.
or like did it or
Yeah,
was able to just prove that she like wasn't going to work in order to like help the relationship grow and
right,
foster. So
right.
then when they never got married, it was like, well, that was a waste because you pretended like we were going to get married and then we didn't. And I was treating it as such. And
I
so that was not a good use of my time.
yeah, and I think it was valid. I'm not here. Well, sometimes I am here for women's wrongs, but like I didn't feel like in that situation she was wrong because of the magnitude of who she is.
I think everyone secretly wishes that that they could sue for their time being wasted. I think that's like aspirational. Like, honestly, why am I wasting my time with X, Y, and
Across
Z?
the board too.
My time is valuable, and not even in dating, just like across
Just
life.
across the board. Because like
Yeah.
auditions, meetings, like all that stuff, like I was thinking about like how many interviews some people have for like certain movies, and like you could be auditioning for like a year or something like that for like a big project. And I'm like, at the end of all that, I would want to check.
Hours. It's
I
like
would
that's
want to
free
check.
labor.
And you're spending your money to maybe travel places or
I
go
know.
to
I mean, I guess it's
go
technically
see
like
your
spec.
special ear, nose, and throat doctor or
I
whatever.
know. I know. I guess it's like spec work, I suppose. But like I
You
think
can write it
spec work
off,
is
but
kind of, especially if you're paying for like a vocal coach or like whatever.
all that stuff sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Also, new music. Speaking of like coaches and tutors or whatever, Cardi B on her album tour talking about that she's a strict parent and
Oh
she
yeah.
like has her kids in every lesson with all tutors, all coaches, everything they need. She's strict. She's on it. She has a new album too. My favorite song, and I know we talked about this and you don't agree, and that's okay, but I like the song that she has with Lizzo where
No,
they
I don't
sample
hate
Four
it.
Non Blondes.
I don't not like it. I like it. It's a great
Oh,
song.
I like that song the
It's
best. I
great.
think it's the one that's the catchiest, I'll say. I don't even know if I like
Yeah.
it the best. It's just the catchiest song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's because we love that song.
I like a
Um,
catchy pop tune.
it was good.
My favorite
I like
Cardi
I
is
think that
is a sample Cardi.
I love a sample in hip hop music, and I don't care if that's not cool. I don't
Is
care.
that not cool?
They can be well, I mean, at some point in time that was a controversial topic amongst hip hop lovers. It was like part of the reason why Kanye West would be like, I don't see I do samples because like he was trying to subvert that because it had become negative. But the reality was hip hop artists have always used samples because it was a cheap way for them to use instruments with them having to pay for like full orchestras and more expensive things. If you have full recordings, you could just use that and pay like, what you need to, which later on they ended up finding out like, some people ended up losing lots of songs and didn't get paid anything because it was a sample and they didn't really have the right legal stuff at the time. But anyways, I think
Crazy.
that like sampling is great. And I think like there's been so many people that have done it in such imaginative ways, like especially in the hip hop genre, or honestly, even in dance music too, where like the samples are just like, oh, I didn't even like this is so flipped. This is awesome.
I like when in
Yeah.
dance music, like specifically in EDM, they will do like gospel samples. And I always think that's really
Oh,
cool. Like the
oh,
gospel samples are so cool.
I had the best night of my life one time in Hollywood Boulevard at this place called King King. And it was like drum and bass night, but it was drum and bass night. And they did a lot of gospel samples. And my cousin, best friend, like did a whole, it was like a whole like ballroom dance moment. And like my friends battled like Alvin Ailey ballet dancers who were like doing flips and people were like doing suicide drops. It was truly from a like a dream or like a movie. Um, but I remember that music was bumping and everyone was really feeling it, like at the drum and bass place. And a lot of the songs too have like a call and repeat kind of sound to them too. So it was really fun.
Well, and like raves too, which is like a little bit different than drum and bass, but also very the same.
Yeah.
But I feel like in raves, like when everyone's dressed as like in their fairy costumes and they're doing all this like very like it's very like spiritual. And
Yes.
like so then when a rave DJ is like tapping into the gospel part of it, it's like they're tapping into like the higher frequency of why everyone wants to be at a rave anyways, which is like very much like that plural lifestyle of like being like we're bringing joy and this is fun and
Love.
whatever
Yeah.
and love and whatever. And like I just feel like that it's just it's clever, it's funny, and it's also like everyone's running around half naked and they're like, "Take me, Jesus." Like they're just like it's
Well,
so
no, it's
funny.
usually like what was like one of the ones, and it was like, gosh, I really want to remember the song, but it was like I want to even say like they'll take like a little clip of like, and I remember, and it's just like, and then like people are just doing
No,
that,
I
and
know.
it's
I
like
know.
really fun, and I don't know,
I need
it's
to be
fun.
like in the hi Queen BW. Thanks for being here.
Also, thanks for hanging out. This is Megan Like Us Live. We're trying something different this week. We decided that we were going to step out of the couch, welcome you to our homes, and chat a little bit about some pop culture stuff. We're going to talk about Megan still, don't worry, but we also are talking about some other things. And just, getting to hang out with you here on YouTube.
And don't forget, if you like the live, share amongst your friends, comment, write in a question for us if you have one below. We'll be asking each other questions too while we're here. And we're just catching up on some great pop culture chats and overall just talking about relatability as we do on the show.
Yep, we're talking about relatability through the pop culture lens as always. And we just actually talked about Taylor Swift and the messaging of her music, what that means to people right now. We moved on, talked a little bit about before that, Megan, how she's been looking at Balenciaga, her looks, her humanitarian award that she received last night, that Armani suit where she looks so fly. Both of them are in Armani and they look
So
amazing.
good.
And yeah, and then we're gonna do a Q&A later. So thanks for hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribing. Leave us a comment. I'm looking. So
Happy Mental Health Day. Yes, that's right. Queen BW. Thank you.
yes, happy Mental Health Day. Very important.
I feel like in general taking a mental health day is stuff that people don't necessarily realize that they need to do. But I'm really glad that when we were kids, it was something that our mom was like a really strong proponent of doing, like even when we were just in elementary school and like taking a day to like sometimes we would stay home, but sometimes a mental health day is like going to go see art and we would like go to museums for mental health days or like go learn about something really interesting. And I'm grateful that that was like embedded because it feels like that's such a thing that does help your mental health. Like going to go, I think there was a time we like for mental health day, we went and did photography and there was
Our
always like,
cameras. Yeah, you
yeah,
want to
like there's
find
always
place.
something
Yeah.
really interesting happening. So
Yeah, I
it is
agree.
important.
sometimes because like I'm a millennial, but like I'm in that middle to older kind of range, and sometimes I feel like for me, our parents' intentionality with raising us in that way feels more like a younger, like a Gen Z kind of parent, where their parents will be like, "Oh, you're having a bad day, you could stay home." I feel like when we were growing up, that was very unheard of, and our mother was like definitely like this huge hippie for doing that. Like your mom
Yeah,
like in a
she's more
school.
Gen X. She's more Gen X. She's
Yeah,
not as
they
baby
got their own
boomery.
problems though. Our mom's she's a saint. Our mother is a saint, but those other Gen X's, I can't say anything about them. My mother is literally an angel.
It's hilarious. Okay, so as we're getting into more of the live show, we got
Yeah,
little hearts for that.
we're gonna let's do our Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait,
Okay,
hold on.
so
Wait, hold on. I have something before we get into our Q&A
okay,
that I
what do you
uploaded.
have?
It was just like a little. Wait. Oh, of course.
Oh, I love that. Okay, soundboard going. Oh my god, cousin Jamie's in the chat.
Cousin Jamie. Cousin Jamie. Obadiah. All
Love.
right.
Okay, so now we're getting into Q&As. If you have questions for us, leave them in the chat. We will also answer them. But starting off, Danny, I have a question for you.
Oh, what's up?
Okay, so obviously working on this podcast has been really, I think, insightful, given that both of us came in to learning about Megan with, a little bit of a blank slate. So what information and what has been your approach for uncovering information about Megan throughout this process?
Well, first of all, this has been the best experience working on the show with you and getting to
It's
record
me?
with you. It's been so much fun. I mean, I've been working in podcasting for a few years now and in like the audio and video space. So originally I was like, man, I want to do something that feels unique to me. And so like that is kind of the approach of these things of the whole project is really finding stuff that as a Black woman who comes from a certain socioeconomic background, who comes from a certain like interest group of just my interests. I'm kind of on like that techie nerdy journalist kind of side of things, but I love fashion and art, and I was like, okay, well, this woman, her life seems to intersect a lot of things that are interesting to me. She seems to be a more complicated and also educated woman. So as I've been watching these episodes week to week, I've been like taking a moment to look at her choices that she's made because every choice in your show really speaks to who your host is. A lot of times, I would say like
Yes.
in my work, I do work with somewhat like notable. I work with notable people, and a lot of times like the tempo of how things go and like those little like finishing touches are those things that are the result of them like their input. So I just kind of like paid attention to the little things that she's doing and the choices that she's making on camera and kind of like fine tooth combing that and being like, oh, she does seem to really acknowledge the rest of her crew. Oh, there is also an article that's coming out that's saying how much her crew has loved to be with her. Because like those are experiences I've been in. Like I've been around a talent. I've been around crew. Like I've seen how that can all work in those relationships that can build or lack thereof. And and I was like, okay, that's a cool one. Like that was something to look into. And then we started getting into the Alice Waters episodes, and I'm seeing that like, oh, not only does this woman care about farm to table, which not in a way that is her being trying to be trendy or cool, but actually in a way that is impactful to society on a greater scale, like elevating a voice like Alice Waters on a show on a platform like Netflix is saying something. Having conversations about MSG with another Los Angeles foodie, Roy Choi, like that was a choice. And I think, like I've said in that episode, it really speaks to the leadership of who she is as a person to want to take on topics that maybe aren't necessarily on the top of mind, but are still very important. And I feel like that's been my approach as a producer and journalist. And so, like, I kind of see and I understand like where she's coming from. And I also think it's just really cool to like, as we're watching the show, she's like talking about cutesy things like her Girl Scouts, her Girl Scout experience, or, she's talking about with her friend with the teased hair up, and then I want to tease my hair up because I'm like, oh wait, we do that out there in the 2000s. We used to do that. I want to do that. And so like it's been really fun to like follow her through this project, but more also see like where her heart lies in like feeding people and dispelling rumors. And it's been really rewarding to me as a person, and I actually think I'm going to write a little bit about that pretty soon.
You have completely touched on so many different things in that answer. And like I think one of them that sticks out the most to me, but there are a few. But one of the things that sticks out is like the idea that Megan, when you are the lead talent of a show, everything is a choice.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm talking about this podcast, and people are like, well, why Megan, whatever. And when I say, oh, well, it's actually, we're reviewing the TV show, but we're using that as kind of an anchor to learn more about this person, that can sound flippant. That can sound like a little shallow. Like you're like, oh, you're going to learn about someone from a show. Like that's edited, that's produced. It's like, yeah, but when you're lead talent, whatever you're choosing to show, is a reflection of your thoughts. It's a reflection of what you think. And so I do think that there's something really interesting about the her choices that she has made as someone as lead talent. And like there is, even like as an aside, but like if you were to use Keeping Up with the Kardashians as an example of people who are also very much in control of their own narrative, right? And when even in the beginning of that show, like when all of the girls weren't EPs, but just Chris was, Chris had a very clear narrative of how she wanted her family to be seen on that show. And every choice moving forward has, as much as people like to say Kim is the mastermind, it's Chris Jenner architecting how all of her daughters and how all of their family values were going to come through on the screen.
Yep.
And in the first season or two of that show, before everyone else had creative decisions, she was architecting each person's archetype and how they would portray what it was that she wanted people to know about them. And it worked. It made, billion-dollar brands, amongst the girls. And so when I see Megan really having control of her own narrative, I find that she probably thinks this show to be very empowering for her because for so long her narrative was stripped away.
I mean,
And so
especially as an actor, not as a person that does on camera stuff as themselves, like the Kardashians.
yeah.
Like you can't even like she's literally being written for.
But I was saying even like specifically in the media, right? So like when you look at how like the British media was portraying her for so long and you watch like the documentary, she talks about that she felt powerless. And like I think naturally as an actor, you kind of are like, that's what I'm signing up for. But then when you as a person also are not in control of your own narrative, I think it makes the show that we're dissecting seem even more intentional and even more like there were decisions that she probably really was just, making sure that she was thoughtful about.
I think that Megan is I can't even imagine the actual feeling of going between you're an actor, you don't have a voice. It's very much about your presentation and like, can you portray this person that we need you to portray in the scene? Not you, just what we think of you. And then you finally get in a relationship with someone where it's based off you. And then now that part of you, which you've had control over, people usually be like, oh, we love Erin. She's a sweet person. But now the common knowledge is Erin is not a sweet person. And that's not actually who that person is. Yeah, I'm going to go into overdrive and start making sure I can create some stuff that's positive for myself. And I don't see that as a negative for Megan. I think
I think that is
that's what you're supposed to do.
No, it's a sane choice.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that.
It's a fully sane choice. And there's something so interesting about even now that you like as we're talking about this show, and it's like the seeing what people say online about a narrative that Megan is in control of, where she clearly is not being a terrible person. Like she's being sweet and kind. The whole show
Yeah,
is
she's
called
so
With Love.
cute.
She's
Yeah.
doing stuff with love, and people are still reacting to dig and find stuff. I don't know. It's given me a lot of, I always had empathy for her for a litany of reasons, but I think I have even more empathy about what at the worst of it, how bad it was. And, it's just really interesting. It's really interesting to see how her presence is really triggering for some people in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, speaking of triggers, I don't know how intense or non intense our posts have been to people online on socials, but I know, Erin, you lead up our socials. You've been posting stuff, and you're the most visible person on our socials. Thank you for doing that work. Um, yeah, but what has been your approach to like uncovering more, like about, I guess like what have been like the most interesting reactions from the viewers? Like, what are some things that have resonated with them that you didn't expect?
I I laugh a lot, which I didn't expect to laugh so much, but I'm laughing because sometimes things are so ridiculous that it's interesting. Like one of the headline kind of thoughts about people who find the show to be antagonistical is they're always telling us to get real. Ladies, get real. Ladies, you don't know. Like there's this like common thread of
And we
people
don't
just
know. Clearly, we don't know.
about people telling us to like get real, like
Oh,
that people
okay.
thinking that we're getting paid to talk about this. That was like early, like the early days before we got gifted, before anything. Like we had only just dropped like a trailer and maybe one episode, and right off the bat people were like, oh, Megan's finding people to root for her, huh? And it's like, so that's kind of the second part. So it's like the get real. And the
Yes.
second part is that people cannot believe that Megan would have fans. Like that is triggering to some people, because, and then, which to me is like, as a person who never really calls herself a victim of anything, people are like, and they don't want her to have fans, which then makes me go like, that's bullying. Like if you want to be able to be so mean to someone and you hope that there's no one that's ever going to push back on you and check you, you are actually trying to be a bully. You are actually trying to hurt someone, and you
Yeah.
are wanting to do it in a way that's bulldozing anyone else's voices that could be in opposition, even when those voices are pretty chill, pretty calm, pretty kind, pretty sweet. Like our whole
And we're
approach
funny
to the show,
sometimes.
yeah, the whole approach to our show is kind. And like, I think the thing that I've loved, just on a positive side to speak to that, is like the fans that have embraced us from the fandom of
Oh,
Megan that have already existed. Like that also is something I noticed right off the bat, is how much of a warm embrace we have
I
gotten from like
love the Sussex Squad.
JT, Emily. Like there's just like
Yeah.
Sussex fans. Like there are just like
Yeah.
some major fan clubs that have already existed in this
Ellie.
space. Exactly.
Ellie. Yeah.
Exactly. That have already existed in the space, who've just completely, and I probably forgot people, so I'm sorry, but like who have just embraced us. I recognized that we had a fresh perspective, recognized that we were voices who were here to kind of help Megan with her narrative of like being a positive person, being someone that like is worthy of being human. All humans are worthy of being human, but we, I feel like, have really humanized her. And I do think that like in a lot of the conversation I see about Megan online, even when people are rooting for her, it's because she's exalted as the Duchess. And I actually have not seen a lot of people that can laugh with her like we do.
Yeah, it's true.
And like we really have this way of just being like, Megan girl. Like I hope she's
It's
seen
so
the show,
cute.
because we do talk to her directly and we're like, what are you doing? Like this is so funny. Like
Like, why
you're
the
like
bee suit? Why is the bee
like
suit?
like exactly, like she's so funny. And like there's something about, I think, because we're reflecting on her and a little bit of a projection, but a little bit of just the reflection of being like, what are we seeing and how does that relate to us as sisters, but us as individuals?
Yeah.
There's a part of that that allows us to go, when I do that, people say I'm being nerdy. And like, Megan, maybe you're being nerdy right now. Maybe this is a little cheeky. Maybe this is a little cheesy. And like there's these different parts of her that I feel like are a reflection of me, and that comes out through our content. It comes out through the way that we respond to people who are being haters. Like I think our voice has been very much like, oh, that's a bummer that that's the vibe you're bringing to the comment section when someone's being kind
Right.
of snarky. And I do feel like in that way, if Megan felt like she could be as transparent as she could be, I think, online. I actually think there's a part of her that would also reply to someone and be like, that's a bummer that that's the vibe you're bringing to the comment section.
I agree. I agree.
And
I
like there's
agree.
just like a grounded relatability of just being like, you're telling us to get real, you need to get real. Why are you bullying people on the internet? Like, get out of here.
Absolutely.
So that's a long answer, but I will say that overall it's enjoyable and I love talking to the other fans the most online. Not even just our fans, but just like Megan's fans and like being in
Megan's fans.
community with them.
Megan's fans have been the best. They're so welcoming and warm. I've been on Bonnie's TikTok live a couple days this week, and I think on the weekend, and I learned so much. They're always like putting me up on things I didn't know, and like just kind of further expanding my knowledge as an American who, my perspective on the British, like I know the monarchy is harmful and we're involved with them and stuff, and I'm gonna say what I need to say right now. But
Oh, Queen BW. She says she's grateful for us to. There aren't enough pods that show who Megan really is as a person and not a headline. And she wants to
agree.
know if we're going to review Harry and Meghan, the docuseries, when season 2 is done as well.
I think we might do it as one of these. We'll probably do it on a live. We'll probably talk about it on the live in upcoming weeks. I'm also looking forward to seeing the Christmas special.
I can't wait to see the Christmas special.
You guys, we really want to talk to Megan, and we have been trying everything in our power to try to get in touch with her. So if y'all got connects, send them through.
If you have the plug, we're trying to get Megan on the show on a Zoom. We're trying to get on our Zoom. Maybe she gets on Watch What Happens Live when we're the bartenders. We're just gonna throw it out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh my God. If Megan goes, Megan would never go on Watch What Happens Live.
You don't think?
If she went on Watch What Happens Live, she would do it this week. And I think it's already wrapped. I don't know her schedule, but she's in New York, so that's why I would say.
Oh. Yeah, but she can go to New York whenever.
Oh my God. I would love if Megan had like her own Bravo show.
Maybe we should call Andy up.
Call Andy up. I feel like me and Andy Cohen have a lot to talk about.
I saw Andy Cohen at a Grateful Dead concert once. And so we were in the same place at the same time one time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I feel like he was having a great time.
Yes, it's a special episode of Megan Like Us. We're doing Megan Like Us live. So thanks for joining us. We're chatting about pop culture. We just chatted about Megan at Balenciaga, Taylor Swift's album, Cardi B's new music. And I think we just asked each other a couple questions.
We did.
We have some more questions coming up.
Drop any questions you have. Yeah, drop any questions you have in the chat. We're doing a Q&A, so you can ask us questions too. I cut Danielle off, but this is what we're at. Hi, Steph C. Thanks for joining.
And we appreciate the likes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, like, share. If you're jamming with the live stream, please share it and tag us. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, like and subscribe to the podcast. We're just happy you're here.
So I always like to think of like people as athletes. So very often when people will say like, oh, who's your favorite like singer or whatever, like I just have to have the conversation where we talk about the quantifiers of the conversation. So then I know where we can level with, right? But often I feel like it's more fun to just like do the abstract thing and be like, okay, Beyonce is Kobe Bryant. Beyonce's Kobe Bryant because she believes in expanding the sport, which we knew Kobe Bryant believed in. We know that, Beyonce is like, even though she's maybe older in age, she's still giving her best. She still wants to put her best foot forward. She's still trying to win her rings and championships. So in the string of this abstract thought, who is Meghan Markle? Like, what athlete of all time, what great athlete of all time do you think Meghan Markle would be if you could compare her to somebody?
Ooh, it's a great question. If Meghan was an athlete, I like the Beyonce Kobe thing. That's actually really fun. I never thought of Beyonce as Kobe Bryant, but I'll take that. And I think that Meghan Markle, I kind of want to give her like a baseball player.
I think that's right too.
Yeah, I want to give her a baseball player. And maybe because I played softball.
Like a long game too. Like
because you've been playing the long game. It's like, I think when people don't always recognize about Major League Baseball, And especially for folks who like aren't from the United States, which is like before you're playing in the big leagues, you're playing in this like farm system of all of these other smaller teams, similar to how kind of football or
Yeah,
soccer
yeah,
is.
soccer. It's
So you're
literally just like
playing on like a bunch of little farm teams, and then the big leagues call, and you get to go up, right? And in that way, I feel like Megan has gotten the call,
me too.
to join the big leagues.
Yeah, you're always kind of ready until you're ready,
And
right?
she
Like,
feels like she
yeah,
was someone who was really prepared. Like even when you think about like that she had the TIG before she had As Ever, it's like she kind of was like doing the work before a lot of people saw the work, right? She was doing all this humanitarian work and then she became a duchess where she had to do more humanitarian work. Like
mhm.
there's just been a lot of layers and levels to her becoming this person. And it wasn't that just one day she started dating Harry and then decided she cared about all of this stuff. This is embedded into who she was. This is embedded into her previous work. And so, if I'm going to say that, then she has to be a Major League Baseball player who, probably wasn't a first round draft and probably moved up through the farm system. She might be someone who has done, kind of built her way. And so maybe she's Mariana Rivera. Like, I think she might be a
That's
pitcher. Maybe
interesting.
like maybe she like she hasn't been just throwing all heat the whole time. She's kind of has like some curves and some things. She kind of does things in her own
Yeah.
way. I don't even know if Meghan Markle Sussex knows who Mariana Rivero is, but like she could be that. She also could be like, maybe she's some sort of home run hitter. Maybe she's Derek Jeter. Like just because like they have the same aesthetic. Like she could be Derek Jeter in a way. But I think Derek
Wait,
Jeter
well,
was
no,
kind of
but
like
like unrelated because he's like a newer baseball guy. But I love like a Kike, like who like in the off season they like turned it up. I like players like that, and I think like right now this week is she's showing that like there's been a lot of press, which I've learned through the Sussex squad this week. Like, there's been a lot of press with William. They're really doing a big job right now, trying to like push him to the forefront as like the new king and the likable person in the family, really. And of course, that's kind of Harry and Meghan are in the back of this. They don't have to be involved. They're in America. But where do they step out? They pop out here where they can pop out. And like, not only do they just pop out, they're at Balenciaga in the front row. Megan's wearing amazing Armani. Like they're receiving humanitarian awards. They're speaking in public. And this is like I think they're 2 weeks in a row that they've been out speaking. So I mean
I know it's interesting. We
it's
have
a
some
good
stuff going
this
on.
is
We have
this
some
is
stuff
their
going
this
on
is
in the we have some
Megan's
stuff going
giving
on in the
offense.
chat.
Megan's giving postseason push right now.
Yeah.
Personally.
We have some stuff going on in the chat, so I want
Oh,
us to pay attention to things. So we also have a question of someone asking us what our favorite episode was so far from Queen BW. What is
oh,
your favorite
thank you.
question so far? What is your favorite episode so far, Danny?
Okay, my favorite episode so far has been the one with Roy Choi. I love that we got to talk about pink box donuts, which is something so I don't know, it's what Southern California, good Southern California life is about. It's about a pink box donut. So that was fun. I also loved that they talked about fast food, El Pollo Loco, Jack in the Box. I loved in that episode too, like their fun banter this show, which we have not really spoken about too much on the podcast, has an actually pretty amazing soundtrack. And I remember the song that they played during the Roy Choi scene when they're mixing all the stuff together is I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. And like that is just so I don't know, it's just so 90s LA that like it was like, yeah, that was right. And that was fun.
I like that. I think my favorite episode so far of my favorite episode of our podcast or of the show. So of Megan's show, I actually like season 2, episode 1 with when Daniel Martin comes back
Oh, that one's so
and
fun
she
too.
has Christina and she has David Chang and like I felt like that episode had such a surge of energy in it.
So much
I loved
energy.
it so much. I loved talking about that episode a lot. Like that was a really fun episode to me. I liked what they made. I loved what David and Christina brought to the episode. I think seeing her and Daniel do each other's makeup in the kitchen, like there was just like so many little moments on that one. Them making the flowers, learning about Ikebana, like there was just like I loved that episode. It was literally one of my favorites.
Yeah,
To
it had
talk
a little
about
bit
and
of
to watch.
everything. It was like smart, it was funny, it was touching, it was inspirational. I mean, they kind of all were still doing that whole like, you can start a business. Like they love
Exactly.
they love
Exactly.
to tell someone to start a business. Daniel and Megan.
I know. They're like that episode felt like hanging out with friends. It felt like hanging out with like when it's like me, you, and our husbands, and everyone's kind of being silly and we're just like jamming. Like it had that energy of
Yeah,
people who are really comfortable being themselves. So I enjoyed watching that episode a lot. It was one of my favorites so far.
that was really fun.
Okay, we have another question.
Oh,
So
I see Jamie left a question.
yeah, Jamie wants to know who's a guest we'd like to see on the show. Well, we want to see Megan on the show, first of all.
On our show.
Yeah, we want to see Megan on our show.
Yeah.
Or is it a guest who we'd like to see on her show? On any show. Let's answer both.
Okay.
It's our live stream.
I want her to have. We talked about this. We want to see some Black American foods.
Mm-hmm.
So and not. I know we did on the show say Southern, but Black people live across the Americas.
I
and
want
so
Kelly Rowland on the show.
that would be so cute.
Because I saw Kelly Rowland in Elaine Welteroth's kitchen cooking. Or maybe it was Sierra, but I think it was Elaine Welteroth. And Kelly looked like she can cook.
Okay.
Kelly's so pretty. I love her talking. I want to see Kelly Rowland in everything, all things. Like there's actually never enough Kelly Rowland for me
I
personally.
agree. Kelly
The
Rowland
limit
is
doesn't
awesome.
exist.
I'm into that.
Yeah, it could also be Sierra because she's just so pretty. But I think Megan and Sierra is like I don't know if I don't think the screen can handle both of them. Kelly is also beautiful, but I think that there's like we're getting something different with Kelly. She's gonna give us Bob. You know what I mean? She's gonna come in and flip that Bob.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. She's really so pretty. Like sometimes I just look at pictures of Kelly Rowland. She's gorgeous. Anyways, I'm done fangirling over Kelly Rowland, who I desperately want to see in the kitchen with Megan. And I feel like they're friends. Like I feel like Tyler Perry can connect them. I feel like they met. I feel like they met at a Beyonce. They probably met at a Beyonce concert.
They definitely met at a Beyonce concert. Or like Tyler's, doesn't he have a child like at his like baby shower or something?
Like I feel like they met. I feel like they know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Megan, you need to call Kelly up.
Yeah, Kelly would be really good to make some Southern foods. She probably will make like a really nice
mac and cheese, which is what we need to see on the show. We need okay, so the recipe, the menu for the Southern episode, which I'm just gonna give free game to anyone who's listening that's on Megan's team. She has to make mac and cheese.
She has to make collard greens or some version of that.
Collard greens.
Or some like whatever her greens are, her people make.
And I actually think I want red snapper.
Oh, Megan actually is a big fan of gumbo. She said her mom makes a really good spicy gumbo and she craves that and wants it all the time. So that's like her favorite thing. So
maybe her mom should be in the episode with Kelly. So it's Kelly and the mom.
I want to see the mom.
I want the mom there too. So Kelly and the mom.
Her mom
come in.
It's like a sweet like librarian or something.
And they all make gumbo together.
Yeah, I want that.
But I do want to see Kelly's mac and cheese recipe because I feel like it's good.
I want it.
I can't believe that Kelly Rowland is eating bad mac and cheese.
Well, all right. So if you are just joining us, it's Erin and I. We're talking about everything culture media today. We're doing not our normal thing of covering an episode of With Love Megan. We're actually just chatting today. We're yapping about some pop culture stuff. We are still talking about Megan. Earlier, we talked about her at Balenciaga and her receiving that award yesterday in her Armani suit, looking fly in her ponytail. And her makeup.
That little slick bun.
It's a nice slick back pony too. I loved it.
Personally, my favorite part of that outfit is that it flowed. Like she just had like the flowiness to her. It was like very effortless, very like, oh, let me show you my nice lines, my nice clean line. Like I just think that that's a really underrated silhouette for people, especially when you're like slender, like just like
Mhm.
let me show
Crazy.
you, but without showing you. Oh, so
Yes.
hot, sexy, sensual. It's
So
giving.
good. I love
Very
it.
good. Very good.
I also loved that online our friend part of the Sussex Squad JT, he was like, you don't understand. Like certain people of certain communities, like we put it on and we step out that way. Like we do have the nice strut when we go out. Like that's what's part of the problem with Obama. They had an issue with that. They didn't like that he used to strut sometimes, but that's just what it is. It's like sometimes if you got it on, you got to put that shit on. If you got that shit on, you got to put
As
that shit on.
as as the proverb goes, I hopped up out of bed and I turned my swag on and I looked into the mirror and I said, "What's up, Soldier Boy?" That was a word.
It was.
It was a word.
People
Also,
weren't
by the
ready
way,
to receive it. They weren't
I
ready.
was at like a dance event earlier this week, and everyone's dancing, having a good time, and the DJ played "Crank That Soldier Boy," and people. There's also a second Soldier Boy song, but that I'm forgetting right now. That's also a good party song. But everyone was, and by the way, it was an international dance event. So there's people from like the Netherlands, there's people from Bulgaria, there's people from everywhere, and literally, like everyone was losing it to Soldier Boy, and I was just like, this guy's international. Like a Soldier Boy coming next. I'm kidding, but like also, he's the
Honestly,
original. He's the original.
I believe in Soldier Boy. Without him, a lot of people would not be successful. There's no Get Silly. There's no, like we don't have any of that without Soldier Boy. I don't even think we get to got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. I don't even think we get there without that. And so, like,
He used to be really online too. He's not as online as he used to be.
yeah, he doesn't have to be.
He
He's
used to
too
be like
fast.
but like he was in the early days of Twitter. He was like very active on Twitter,
He was. He
and he
was.
was like
Soldier Boy's
hopping.
so
He
good.
would like interact with fans in a way that was, yeah, he was.
He understands the internet very well.
Yeah, you could count on Soldier Boy to be in a comment section talking about something. I would like to see him on TikTok. I would like to see it.
Well, Aaron, what is something that you wish our listeners would see more about you or knew more about you?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like for better or worse, I do show a pretty silly side of myself on the show and in the podcast. And like there is like a seriousness because we are talking about relatability and we are like giving such a human perspective of someone who is sometimes not given that empathy.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate that that's what this show does. But something personally that I feel like I wish more people knew. Hmm, that's such a good question. I've lived such a I don't know if our listeners know how many different lives I've lived. I've lived so many different lives and I've worn so many different hats in my life. And I think sometimes people look at both of us and they think, "Oh my gosh, they're so young." But I do think people think that we're like I do think that people think we're pretty young, and that we don't have as much experience as we do have. And so I do sometimes wish that our listeners knew that as silly as I'm being about certain things, there's some depth there, and there's some life experience there,
Look, I'm
and
not stupid, okay?
I'm not dumb. I'm just playing dumb on TV.
That's
What
funny.
about you, Danny? What do you wish that people knew?
I I don't feel like I am a type of person that I don't know. You got to get to know me. Like I have so many stories. I feel like Megan, when you're a person that has had a lot of different life experiences, um sometimes when you just start with like one story, like it's not actually even the whole story. So you could say like, "Oh, like I played softball." Like you could say that, I'm in the Hall of Fame for playing softball, for being a pitcher. And like someone would be like, "Oh," and they could put a whole world together of what that is. But then they meet you and it's not quite just that.
Wait, so just on that,
Yeah.
you would cannot even imagine how many times when sometimes I'm just like, I'm not even gonna get into the sport, but people are like, oh, like college, blah, blah, and I'm like, oh, I was a college athlete. And just saying that, when you look at me and I say I was a college athlete, that can mean so many different things to so many different people. And usually that conversation goes with people can make a lot of assumptions. So even on the simplest level, let's say they just assume the sport. The sport they're going to assume, top 3 sports they'll assume: basketball, track, volleyball, sometimes soccer. None of the sports I've named are even the sport I played or in the Hall of Fame for. And like, granted,
we didn't play any of those sports. Well, I ran track a little bit.
I ran a little track.
Yeah,
I played basketball one time. I tried for soccer, never really played it. I got recruited to play in a Model Beach volleyball tournament that was like a semi-pro tournament in Miami. I did that for a couple of years. That was super fun. But in general, I didn't play any of those sports. And those are always kind of, sometimes people think I was a dancer, never really was a real dancer. So the assumption, when you talk about people making assumptions based off one
not a
thing,
dancer either. You did a whole.
I'm not a dancer.
We've taken dance classes.
I know choreography. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's
There's
so the stories that people can make about you based off of one inkling of information. And this is just maybe a form of relatability that I'm going to share, but I think what I'm trying to learn how to do is actually not overcorrect people's assumptions by giving them so much information to make sure that they fully understand me. And I actually think that's something I see a lot in Megan, is she is kind of not, you have to understand that you're probably going to be misunderstood and be okay with that, because people who want to understand you will ask questions to learn more about you, and that has to be enough, you know.
I do agree that she is in that phase of her life where she's like, I have nothing else to prove. You guys honestly wanted me, and I at one point wanted you convinced me that I wanted myself not even here. So like I got to go balls to walls for my children and try to set up a good world for them, so when I'm gone that they can have that. And like it's so clear. It's so clear that's what she wants. But I think for like myself, like talking more about those stories, like even me being like I'm young married, I've been married for so long and I'm so young in a relationship so long. People have so much, misunderstandings about who I am as a person. Like I I also like have had interesting career experiences and interesting life experiences, even through me being young. And not to mention like when we're talking about Megan, like we're only talking about Megan and who she is from in the era of Harry on. Like we don't know who Megan is when she was married before or those other things. And so like I just feel like those things just come out. Like it's never really a great time to be like, so I was divorced when I was 35. Like I don't know when it's a good time to say that for her. You know what I mean? But it might be better off to be like, oh, I just now know how to like weigh out this flour a little bit better because I was married to a chef years ago, right? Or like, oh, I have this amazing calligraphy because I didn't have a job and I knew how to do this because I learned it in elementary school. Like, and it's like it doesn't make sense to be like, oh no, I do calligraphy when it's like, oh no, this is like how I give gifts. Like everything is so much more complex. And I feel like the more that we are giving space as a society and humans that ingest media and social media specifically, that gray area, and for things to be compounding upon each other, like everything doesn't live in a vacuum. Everything isn't just Y to Z. And even when we talked about that conversation in the conversation of Taylor Swift, it's like maybe she did phone this one in because she's tired and she was just on a tour for 2 years she did like 100 shows or something like that. Yeah, and she found a man right after tour. I'm laid up with my man at eating dinner, going to the gym with him. I'm, taking little trips in his off season, going to his games, sitting with his mom. That's absolutely what I would be doing after I worked as much as she did on a human level.
Yeah.
Put into perspective her contract she's under, people that she's employed that she feels responsible for, that she needs to hit the quarter goals because she has to pay people out. And Taylor's a big giver. We know that she gives a lot of cash. Like it's been reported on. So like I'm sure she has big goals. So she's like, well, let me just make sure I get this album out, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like the unfortunate part, and we talked about this earlier in the question you asked about online.
For everything to be a thing, like that. Let's just do that. Let's just do it.
Well, we talked about the socials part of it, and I do think that's part of the internet is there's not always opportunity for nuance
Yeah.
and or digging deeper. And I think sometimes everyone is moving so quickly that they don't stop and ask questions, or they know that there's no time to give more insight. And so, yeah, for Megan or for Taylor, I think for most people, depending on your level of success, I do feel like that when you feel responsible for another person, another being, or even if you just feel responsible for yourself and you've lived a lot of life, sometimes you're just not going to have time to give that nuance. And so you have to put your best foot forward and try to like present yourself as well. That's why in that one episode of the With Love Megan, where Megan is putting something together and she says it's not perfect, but let's make it presentable. And I think that that sometimes is how we have to look at our own stories,
Yeah.
is that sometimes it's not going to be the perfect story that you could tell someone perfectly, but like just packaging yourself the best that you can and moving forward in that way. Whether it's Taylor with her album, which she packaged it the best that she could and just moved forward, whether it's Megan in the show, there's a lot of instances where you just have to say, this is as good as it's going to be, and people who want to get more will lean in and we can move forward from there.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cardi also did a good job with this album too. She made it very clear where she stands on things. And then even how she handled the conversations that surrounded around the Read podcast, it was very much like, this is the decisions I've made, and like this is the person I am, and that's what it is. And I mean, ultimately, both Crystal and Cardi are like, we believe what we believe, and it was just what it was. you know, um, there isn't really time. Not to say it's not time, but like it's not always necessary to like prove who you are to people, especially if you have 400 podcasts they could go back and listen to, or Cardi B, she like, go watch Love and Hip Hop. Like, I've been saying how I've been this whole time, and I've been very consistent. And it's like, so I don't need to explain myself. But I did think something was really interesting. So I noticed, I did see that she did that Janet Jackson track,
Uh-huh.
and I thought it was very interesting because I had heard a rumor that Offset had a Michael Jackson track, and so I always just wondered if that was a little like a get back, like, I got a Janet song.
Oh, maybe.
I think that would have been great.
I
That would have
mean,
been
yeah,
great.
I think that's why I liked the Lizzo song, because it just talks like she does a callback to how she asked Offset to be careful with her, and then it like ended up
Mhm.
not as good as she wanted, and I just felt like that was clever writing. When we talk about also like misconceptions, people not fully being acknowledged for who they are, I also can't help but to think about Angel Reese and how far the media went when she was still just a college athlete
I
to talk
know.
about her. And she's, by the way, when you're a college athlete, you're probably not even 21 yet.
You
So
are
she's
literally a baby, Aaron. I've seen
so
photos of you from like that era of your life recently, and I'm like, you were a toddler.
baby fat on my face
Yeah,
still, like just
little.
not a full woman,
No,
right?
no.
It's definitely, I actually talked to my former college coach about this before, and she says that it's a very special job to be a college athletics coach, because you really are like almost shepherding girls, because they come into college as girls, they're
Mhm.
teenagers, and you're shepherding them into womanhood,
Yeah,
and you're playing such a key part in how they relate to themselves and other women in their lives and relate to their relationships. And you are actually kind of like a part of the planting of the seeds to grow.
yeah,
And I think that we have actually seen that play out with Angel Reese, who was maybe not given as much of the grace of recognizing that she still was a girl, finding herself, discovering what it was to stand up for herself for the
even
first
her
time,
fashion choices, right?
and
Like,
have to
she's had
stand
to
up for
grow.
and have to stand up for herself in such a public
Yeah,
situation. Like we're talking about Megan. Megan was in her late 30s having to figure out how to stand up for herself, and that was expected of Angel Reese, who was under 23, right? And
yeah,
bananas. But something that's nice to see is that she has really taken ownership of who she is. And, the news of her walking in the Victoria's Secrets fashion show, which Angel being an angel, like that's so cute. I can't wait to see that.
it is so
Um,
cute.
and
I
we're
love that.
like, by the way, like we should reset for a second. So if you're just joining, this is Megan Like Us. the live show. We're getting into the hot topics part of our live show now. But we've been here chatting for the last hour or so, doing a Q&A, so you can still drop questions for us in the chat. But we switched it up this week, right, Danny?
Yeah, we decided to, get out from the couch and come home and just, we're gonna test this out, see how this live show does. I think it's kind of fun so far, but we might do a couple more as this project goes on because we're finding out that we want to chat more with you. We want to talk more.
And we just want to have more of an excuse to talk about all things. Really for us, we are both, I'm gonna use the word intrigued. I think Danny, you and I were both intrigued about relatability. We're really intrigued by human empathy. We both are pretty empathetic people. We really enjoy humanizing people and giving perspective and nuance that doesn't always exist from just a headline. Our first season, obviously, we've been talking about Megan in this way, but I think what you can usually expect from us is for us to try to provide more nuance in the things that we're reading and try to have a deeper dive of the media, of our media literacy, of how we are interpreting
Interpreting.
how we're interpreting the things that we're seeing, either online and print and all of the above. So
I feel like I should play like a sound effect,
there we go. Also, I think if you're watching this, please like, subscribe, share, follow us on all the things.
All that.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a water really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, be right back. I'm gonna vamp. Hi everyone. Drop things in the chat. Kevin Vasquez, thank you for saying I'm pretty. I will accept that. That's very nice of you. If you were here, there's a few of y'all watching, so drop your name in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. Drop your names. Let us know that you're here listening. If you have a question for me or Danny, we're here to answer them as we ask each other a few more questions. Danielle just went to go grab some water. But we are, switching it up this week, chatting with you from our homes away from the green couch and just, sharing a little bit more about some of the hot topics that we have seen in the past week and things that we found to be really interesting. So we're glad that you're here.
I'm back.
I'm back. Danny's back. All right.
Are you caught up on Housewives of Miami?
No, because it shows on Fridays. So there's a new episode today that I have not seen yet.
No. Oh, you haven't seen last week's? That's what
last week was part 1 of their reunion.
Yeah. Are you caught up?
But to be caught up is now part 2 because that landed today.
I know, but it's not night yet.
No, but I saw people on Threads already talking about it.
Are you caught up with the most recent episode up until before today?
I am caught up.
Okay. So I saw this story about Alexia's ex-husband, Todd. And I guess he's filing a $10 million defamation lawsuit against Bravo.
Yeah, for calling him broke or for insinuating that he's broke.
I just feel like this is such a weak lawsuit. What?
They never insinuated, by the way, I watched the show. They never insinuated that
I didn't see that this was even.
They never insinuated that. But what they did insinuate, if anything on the show, is that he's kind of a bad guy because he left her mentally disabled son at home by himself when he left the house. And that is so terrible. I don't even know how she was still talking to that man.
Well, I mean, Frankie's fine.
No, I know, but it's just rude.
Yeah, Frankie was fine though.
It was rude.
I mean, but even those things were mild. Like a defamation lawsuit, I feel like that is more on par with what's going on in Atlanta, which I'm not caught up on, but that feels more right. I feel like a lawsuit seems more right even for just that. This one's not.
When you asked me about Housewives,
the defamation wasn't there.
When you asked me about Housewives, I thought that you were going to ask me about Salt Lake City. I thought you were going to ask me if I was caught up to Salt Lake City because I finally caught up this week. And Bronwyn's mom.
Oh.
Bronwyn's mom. Oh my God. So though I was yelling at my screen out loud because I feel like Bronwyn didn't even have to tell us that her mom was that way. It was
Me
actually
too.
better. It was better that she said nothing and just let
Me
us
too.
watch it.
Same.
Because that
Same.
scene where the daughter is leaving
To
and
go
then
with her
the
boyfriend, and then
and the mom is just like,
Wait, the mom's name is Muzzy.
no, she doesn't call her mom, she calls her Muzzy. And the mom just basically telling her that she is a terrible mother and that she still is mad at her for having a kid 20 years ago. The kid is almost 20 and she's mad at Bronwyn for embarrassing her. And she says that you having a baby was harder for me. And then also the Bronwyn story that she tells about being at Gap and
The
the
worst,
mom being
yeah.
like, I'm buying my other daughter something. I have no plans of buying this daughter anything. It was all so terrible. I was shocked. I was like, that really, it made me, I felt so bad for Bronwyn.
Why is she not staying? Why is Muzzy not staying at the sisters that she bought clothes for's house? Why is she staying with Bronwyn then?
No, that's what made me realize
Why is she
Bronwyn,
staying with Bronwyn?
Bronwyn
Because
being with, what is Bronwyn's husband's name? Is his name Todd too?
it might be Todd.
Bronwyn being with Todd, everyone is Todd.
There's a lot of
Bronwyn
Todd.
being, Bronwyn being with Todd made so much sense because I'm like, yeah, if I were her, she was probably thinking, I'm going to get so financially successful that I don't have to listen to anybody ever again because her parents made her life so miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And now the mom needs her. Like,
That mom is no good, man. That mom is no good. I mean, to hear your daughter say, "Hey, like I'm at a point in my life now where I just realized like I'm probably not gonna ever get to be a mom again," and that was
and
my
you
chance.
ruined what pregnancy could be for
And
me.
and I didn't actually feel like I was welcomed enough to bring another child here to this world. The mom saying that she thought that the child was going to get taken by CPS because Bronwyn didn't have a stable job. It's like, mom, what are you talking about? Like, and she's insinuated stuff before, like Bronwyn is like a gold digger, and like
I know. I know. The mom
that
was
is tough.
bad news
It was
and
tough,
living in her house.
tough, and living in her house.
I'm
Why
glad
is
we
she
saw
not with the sisters that she bought the baby clothes for? That's my
uh,
point.
I'm glad we saw that play out because I said that was one of the I can't even think of another problematic housewives mom moment, but I'm sure there is one. So I was thinking that was probably top 5 worst
Oh,
housewives mom moments of all time.
oh yeah, it's in the top 10.
Like
Monica's
if that
mom
was
is
a compilation, I'm sure there's probably a YouTube compilation of that
the
right
worst
now that I could
mom.
pull up. But
And
worst
oh,
mom moments.
Kenya's mom and that mom.
Yeah.
Remember they had like a little shot of her mom too, but like she wouldn't shoot with
Also,
them.
like I know that we've all forgiven Joyce, but Joyce was really mean to Candy, being like, no one will ever love you, and Todd only loves you for your money. That
Joyce
was also not nice.
Joyce was awful for that too.
That wasn't
Oh,
nice.
wait, Kim Zolciak's parents also kind of rough.
Oh,
And
were her?
Kim,
I don't remember her parents.
yeah, they were rough with her because she was also a single mom too. Well, she kind of looked like she was acting funny with them, to be honest. And then like all of a sudden they got back together as a family. But like I guess the biggest issue I see is this new show, the Gen NY's Next Gen or whatever Bravo show with her daughter Ariana. And Ariana has shared that like her mother has taken like all of her money from her time as an influencer and as like this kid that's done stuff. And like then there's more stories this week out. Like it's tough. It's like I'm like Kim.
I
And
have
then it reminds me
divested.
of seeing on Salt Lake how we're seeing Britney, where it's like in real time, seeing the weird choices happening, and you're like, hey, you need to wake up. Your kid is upset.
I loved that Whitney Wildrose told her to
Me
her
too.
face.
Me too.
She was like, I'm just letting you know that
Whitney has
you
good
need to
scenes.
figure it out.
Whitney has good scenes.
She's really growing on me
I
because
like her.
her voice is annoying, but and when I first started watching that show, I didn't like Whitney because when I first started watching, it was like her and Heather had so much issue about being like cousins, not being there for each other. And I felt like that storyline I didn't want to watch. But this new storyline of Whitney saying that her business failed and
Being honest.
which I didn't know. I still haven't looked into it, but the fact that the Bravo producers made the choice that one of the headlines of her failing business was mentioning and calling out that people thought it was an MLM.
Oh yeah.
That was the producer's choice because
I
we didn't know
know.
it was. I wouldn't have known it was an MLM that failed.
Me
And now
neither.
they're like, she tried to start a pyramid scheme. They called her, "What's the Ponzi scheme?" They were like, "This is Bob Ponzi." That was the Bravo producers did that to her, and they did her
Those
dirty
Bravo
in that edit.
producers, man. All I know is that Wendy was mic'd up when she said something because they took her ass to jail today. That
No. Did you
Potomac?
read that? She wasn't mic'd up when she said stuff. Her husband was writing emails in
Mm.
the email, Danielle. In this news article, allegedly the husband was writing emails that said, "Hey, what other items are missing? Because our insurance will cover up to 432,000. Want to make sure we get to that number." What? Excuse me? Why are you emailing that?
Yeah, they thought they were cool. They were trying to do something.
Also, secondly, allegedly, they said that there was a ring that was missing, and then she was photographed with
Wearing the
wearing the ring.
Oh my god.
What? And then they gave them a chance to tell the truth, allegedly, when they were reporting. They were like, "Hey, are you going with any other insurance?" And they said no. Then they were like, "Hey, is there any other?" Like they tried to get them to have a moment of honesty and they doubled down on their lies. And so the fact that like this is such a big fraud scheme to be like, you know what I mean? Like that's a big one. But I think that like that's par for the course for being a housewife because people are trying to keep up with the
Yeah,
Joneses.
that's the whole thing. That is the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's like people always will be like, "Oh, he's a lawyer." And it's like lawyers make so much money and like even if you are doing like
Danielle, but
I don't
she has a doctorate professor
I know I'm
at
talking about
Johns
Erica Jane right now.
Hopkins.
I know.
Why are you doing that?
Trying to do
Sit
too much.
down. You
The thing
also,
is
by the way, those aren't jobs that don't make no money. Those
right,
aren't jobs that like those are jobs
right.
where you are already doing better than the vast majority of Americans.
Yeah,
And then and on
you're gonna
top
be
of
working
that, you're on
part-time.
a television show. So then you're making more money on that and you're an influencer deal. So you're making more money on that. At a certain point, when is enough enough? When is
I know.
enough enough?
I think that about a lot of things. And I think that there's a lot of
I
people
got
that
fired up about that because what are you doing?
it's crazy because it's like it's not like the money's not coming in. And especially like with a medical degree, like I've seen rates for stuff that they're making 11,000, 12,000 a week. So I'm like, that's okay. Like you could get by on that.
She doesn't have a medical degree. She has a PhD, but still.
Oh.
She's like a doctor, but she's like
Hmm.
a PhD doctor.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I don't know her that much besides she messed up the lyrics to on Wendy Williams to Nicki Minaj.
Is that her?
I'm pretty sure it's her.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize that was her.
I pull up
Am
in
I
the
a Nikki
Sri
fan?
Lanka.
Pull up in the Sri Lanka.
I'm a
Hilarious. No, I mean, I just restarted watching Real Housewives of Potomac this last week for the new season. And
Mhm.
the reason why I started watching is because I saw people talking about it online and I am familiar enough with the players on that show. Also, Ashley Darby's divorce is finalized, so I'm interested to see how
Hasn't
she
she stretched that
evolves.
out for a long time? I don't
She's
watch it,
been
but I've
getting
heard that.
divorced for like
Like 4
six
seasons?
or 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So the divorce is finalized. I thought that was interesting. And Kevin and Karen Huger got released from prison or jail. And so the start of the season, the first episode of the season is them showing Karen being released and walking to the car and crying in the car. And then they say, okay, 6 months before then, because she just got released from
Yeah, she just
jail
got
last
out.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that show. I remain curious. Because I don't want to not be, you know, how people talk about their like it says a lot if you're not watching Potomac or Atlanta. And I don't want to be one of those people that's not watching Potomac or Atlanta.
Everyone says Potomac is popping off, and I still haven't gotten in there.
So I kind of like how I treated Vanderpump Rules, and I've told you about this before,
Like the
that I
reunion.
never watched Vanderpump Rules, but I would watch the reunions. And I never watch Potomac, but I will probably watch one Potomac episode a season. So I kind of know what's generally going on.
I'm just moving my computer.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've been really enjoying Salt Lake City. Miami's almost over, and I think Orange County might be getting to the reunion soon. So
I watched all those things this weekend. I caught up this week on everything. I also caught up this week on
Love is Blind.
I'm not there yet. I caught up on SNL. Which
Okay.
this week, I love my comedy and sketch and all that stuff, so I have to get on there. Uh, Bad Bunny was the host, but also Doja Cat performed, and Doja Cat looked amazing. She performed the single that's the single, and then she's performed that other one that's the Gorgeous song,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like in this like flower, and she has like this vampy hair and like every single thing that you could use for makeup, like eyeliner, mascara, like so much makeup in the most glamorous way in this like flower. And she actually sounded pretty good. They usually have some audio issues on SNL,
Yeah.
but I feel like they cleaned him up this season too, just in general, because Bad Bunny had a scene with the girls from the K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix,
I
and
watched them on Jimmy Fallon and they
they're
were
so
so
cute.
good.
But in the scene inside, like in the sketch, basically the friend who's Bad Bunny Benito, he's like, God, my friends are so stupid. Don't they know that all their problems will be solved if they just watch K-pop Demon Hunters? And then like, it elevates, and then it gets to the point where the girls actually show up and they sing. And they sounded so good. Like the vocals were on, but also the microphones were great. SNL has notorious bad sound, and it was
Oh, is that
sounded great.
true? I don't I do watch SNL, but not enough.
Yeah,
Like
like the
I
audio.
watch SNL because I watch the clips online, and every once in a while, if it's someone like I really really want to see, then I'll watch a whole episode. But usually, I just watch like the clips that end up going like out on social media.
Yeah, the episode though this week.
Did you ever watch the SNL movie Saturday Night?
SNL 50. No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like a lot of propaganda. SNL
For Sat
propaganda.
for
SNL propaganda.
Saturday Night?
Not like that, but like, they're like, SNL is the best show ever. Like, it's just very like, it's that. I was
Oh,
like,
I
oh,
don't
when's
think
the
that's
last
what the
one?
movie is, but
I
you
was
should
like,
watch it.
the movie. Oh, I know, the real movie, the narrative movie.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that either. Yeah, I didn't see
that's what
it.
I'm saying. I'm
But
surprised you
there was
didn't
a
see that.
documentary one too.
No, I'm talking about the film that's based off Lorne Michaels.
Yeah. I wanted to see that. I didn't see it.
It reminds me a little bit in tone of. Did you ever watch the Lucille Ball movie that Aaron Sorkin made?
With Nicole?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of has it kind of evokes that feeling.
Okay.
But it's also a little chaotic. It's not as chaotic as Shiva Baby or Uncut Gems because those are on another level of like anxiety inducing movies.
I like Shiva Baby.
But there is a lot going on Saturday Night.
That's fine.
So that's all I got for you.
Well, this week was pretty good. They actually also like it's the first week back, so they have new cast members. A lot of the favorites are there again this season. Like obviously Keenan's there, Michael Che, and Colin Jost. But also like Chloe Fineman, she's really funny. I think it might be one of her last seasons. They have a new girl, Sarah Sherman. She's been there a couple seasons. Bowen's there. Bowen's killing. He played I want him to play a Labubu this season. He needs to play a Labubu at some point. He would be so cute as a Labubu, but instead he played I can't remember the character. He played like some other like a Labubu type character.
I kind of miss Leslie Jones being on
Me
SNL.
too. She was so funny. I miss also the girl Punky Johnson. She was funny too.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I can't believe Ego
There's
is
a
gone.
new black kid who's young, and he did the desk, and
Who's the black kid that looks like Pete Davidson? Because he's also out.
he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Him and Pete Davidson have the same face.
They're literally twins.
They're literally like twins.
Like nothing is different. Like the teeth are even the same.
No, it's so fascinating how much they look alike.
I saw Devin perform in San Diego. He has a nice
Devin. His name is
yeah,
Devin.
I saw Devin perform in San Diego. He has a nice little set. He has a couple good jokes.
He looks like Pete Davidson. It's so
he
funny.
also has like he just reminds me of someone that I'm really close to. So when I look at him, I just like see this other person, and I'm just like, it's so hard for me to see that Pete Davidson is for sure there though.
Hilarious. What else? What else is the new pop? Oh, This is maybe my final pop culture news. So I don't know if you are on Spotify. I think you use Apple Music. But if you use Spotify, something I noticed this week is that when you open the app, if you're an Ariana Grande fan, which I am, I listen, she's always in my top 5, like unwrapped, like wrapped. They have a thing where they're like, pick your top 5 Ariana Grande songs. So you pick your top 5, and then they go, yes, and let us tell you what your actual top 5 are. And then they tell you what your top 5 most listened Ariana Grande songs are. And I thought that that was such a fun feature that I was surprised that like Taylor Swift doesn't even do. Like Beyonce hasn't even done that. And I was just thinking Ariana Grande's team, they get snaps because they were on top of making a really fun user experience on Spotify that I've seen some people share, um, which I think is really fun. And by the way, my top 5 that I thought I would pick, the only one song that overlapped between what I thought my top 5 would be and what my top 5 actually was Seven Things.
That's funny.
Everything else I didn't guess right.
I feel like whenever I get those like breakdowns of the songs I listen to, I'm like, am I well? Because it's like kind of something that's a weird song. And I'm like, I listened to that many times.
It, for Ariana,
It's never like it's on repeat. Like it's definitely playing with next to other music, but like, how is that real? You know?
I do listen to Ariana Grande music on repeat though. I was surprised because I
No, but
thought
that's
it was
just in a
gonna have
playlist. It's not just like one song. Like I understand.
no, I do one song on repeat
I
sometimes.
can understand how one. I try to. I can't do it. I mean, I can do
I
it,
do
and
do
I
that.
do it because like if a song's good, I want to hear it like a lot of times. Like I'm gonna want to, but like I'm also not gonna sit there and like go through Taylor's album like that. Like I'm not gonna sit there and listen to Taylor's album that slow.
I
I need to just
thought
consume that, you know.
I thought from the newest album, for example, I put We Can't Be Friends in my top 5. And apparently I was listening to Yes and then I remembered I did have a moment where I was listening to that song a lot on repeat, just back to back to back to back. So I understand why Yes and was on the list and not. And then I put a Wicked song because I thought for sure Dancing Through Life from Wicked would be in the top 5, and there was no Wicked song in the top 5, and that surprised me.
I'm
Which
like,
I'm
what is
also very
my
excited. I'm excited for Wicked Part 2.
Me too. I haven't seen the trailer because Kay and I are supposed to watch it together because I just really want to watch it with him. So I'm like, we have to watch the trailer together. And we keep
Yeah,
missing
it's
it every
really
night.
good. You haven't seen the live play, so I think you're going to be pretty surprised. And I can't wait for the live play, or I can't wait for part 2 to get into the zeitgeist because I have a really good joke about Wicked that I shared on my TikTok when I saw the live play a couple years ago, but the world wasn't ready for my joke. And so I'm ready for the world to catch up and be ready for my joke.
Oh, Jamie asked about Southern Charm. I do not watch Southern Charm. I'm so sorry.
I
I met someone from Southern Charm.
I've also not watched Southern Charm.
I don't know what that show is, I think.
Sierra Miller is from Southern Charm, though.
Yeah, I don't know her.
She was on Traitors.
Oh, that's where I'm thinking of the show. Okay, that's where I'm thinking of the show.
That's all.
I can't wait to see another season of Traitors.
Have you been watching Dancing with the Stars? Speaking of Traitors, because Dylan Efron's on it.
No, I'm off. I'm off the TV this season. I'm only on Housewives.
I'm gonna tell Jamie that the reason why I'm not watching Southern Charm is because I don't have space. Because I also watch Dancing with the Stars every week, and they got rid of Hilaria Baldwin this week.
Oh,
but people wanted Hilaria Baldwin gone, and they were sad that she stayed last week when Lauren got sent home, Hagari. And so Hilaria went this week. But okay, I'm gonna break down Dancing with the Stars this week because it was Disney.
Is the Irwin kid gonna win?
Danielle, I need to tell you, I have so much Dancing with the Stars stuff to tell you. So first of all, this past week was Disney themed week. Okay, that's what you need to know.
Okay.
In Disney themed week, it doesn't start with Alex Earl, but you can just imagine everyone's doing Disney songs. There's a guy from Pentatonics on the show, and his name is Scott, and he went viral on TikTok for doing a dance at his reception for his husband at his wedding. And so everyone's like, "Oh my god, we love Scott. He's so sweet." Him and his
stuff like that.
him and his dancing partner did Bop to the Top, and they were Sharpay and Ryan from High School Musical, and it was so camp and perfect because this guy can't dance, but like that's also why it went viral because he's not a good dancer. But so it was like endearing that he did this dance at his reception. But this was the
I love
best.
the love. I hate corn.
This was the best he's looked the entire time on the show because they did Bop to the Top.
Cute.
And it was like campy and perfect. And then Robert Irwin did a song from Zootopia that's like a Shakira song, and he is really good. And I think if he doesn't win, he will be one of People Magazine's sexiest man alive sometime between now and 2035.
I know people are really into him.
They're really setting the stage. And so what I also am going to say about Dylan Efron is he really stepped it up. And
I
I think Zach called him and said, "You were supposed to be the hot straight guy this season, and Robert Irwin is eating your lunch. Step it up."
He said,
Because
play the part.
step it up. And so he's starting to look really good on the show. His dancing is getting better, and
Dylan's
each
really
week he looks better and
likable.
better. He's so
Dylan-
adorable.
He's really likable.
He's
And
so adorable.
I actually saw this woman last night. She had like a take on TikTok, and I think I might respond to it still. But she was like, it always seems like every influencer, every actor, every singer has some sibling that wants to like hang on to their sibling or whatever, or like hang on to the coattails of someone else. And I was just like, this is just, have you never met a person? Like,
Was she talking about Ariana Grande's brother Frankie or
I
what?
think she was talking about like the Frankies, the like even the like there's like extra Arquette siblings. Like
There's an
like,
extra Jonas brother.
there's extra like those people that are kind of like their tertiary characters.
Yeah, the Shake It Fast dance was so cute, Jamie. Like, she's also watching Dancing with the
Oh,
Stars.
yeah, who is it?
Dylan Efron did a dance to Mystical, Shake It
Oh, that's
Fast.
cute. I would like that.
He did that earlier in the season. It's so endearing. Hold on, I have one more Dancing with the Stars thing to tell you. So then Alex Earl did a dance to Once Upon a Dream, and
That's cute.
I think they thought that they were going to get the highest scores of the night, and then they didn't. But this dance, Danielle, it was okay. I'm going to preface it by saying it was really, really good. She looked really good. It was a really good dance.
Poised.
But also, it was the most artsy, fartsy thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was laughing so hard because I'm like, I know her, I think her partner is that guy, Val. And I'm like, I know that Val did not make this artsy fartsy dance for Disney night. Give us camp. We are here for camp. We are not here for an artsy, like interpretive, contemporary modern dance. What are we doing?
Yeah,
and like,
that's
by
why
the
I
way,
loved it.
she looked so cool. They looked great. It was so graceful. It was amazing. But also, we're here for the camp. It's Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
this is not
we want
this
like
is not
Princessy-
serious.
Yeah, we need Princessy of the Princess. Like
It's not serious. Give us a little jazz hands. Everyone's like, you gotta tap in and let us know that this is for the general population. This is Gen Pop dancing. Gen Pop dancing.
Yeah, like this is like make it digestible for the masses.
But it was really good, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you're so good!" And Jordan Childs is really improving. I don't know if she's gonna win, but she's really improving, and that's cute. And Danielle Fishel, you'll appreciate this because she's a Boy Meets World girl. Danielle, she is doing such a good job. Like she's such a delight to watch her and Elaine Hendricks from Parent Trap. And Jesse and Cheryl. Wait, what's Jesse's real name? Who's the one that plays Jessie that's in Abbott Elementary?
Oh, God damn it. I've seen her in comedy too.
And Cheryl. And Cheryl Lee Ralph. So Anne and Shirley Ralph were there in the audience to watch Elaine. And that was really cute.
They just watched
but Danielle, she's killing it. She's killing it. Like she's doing such a good job. And by the way, like the best part about watching Dancing with the Stars is that there's like celebrities sprinkled in the audience because they're on the Disney lot. So everyone's like coming from work and then they just like go watch the show, you know?
Yeah. Come over.
Yeah. Anyways, you should tune in if you're not watching it yet.
I know that Elaine has had a pass as a dancer, and then she was injured, and then she ended up losing dancing opportunities, so she became an actor. So that's a really cool story. And then the Mormon girls, I know one of them.
They're killing it. They're so good.
I've heard they're killing it.
They're really good. One of those women, you almost think to yourself.
Not the one that's going to be on The Bachelor, right?
No, the one woman who's really, really good. I think her name is Whitney.
The blonde one.
Well, I don't think she's blonde right now because she just had a baby, but she just gave birth like 4 months ago. And she's so good that you think to yourself, like, did you give up dancing dreams to like she should have almost never been a TikTok dancer. Like it's like almost like she looks like a
ready to
trained
work. She's ready to work.
like get her on a stage. Do
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like it's very confusing that she hasn't been dancing this entire time and that she's famous for doing
Like weird
TikTok. Yeah, it's
dances.
weird that that's like what she's famous for because
That
she
is
honestly is she's talented, like just genuinely talented.
I'm curious to see how the Bachelor season's gonna go because that lady that they've casted is pretty entertaining.
Is it Jen Affleck?
It's the I thought that it was the Taylor girl.
No, so there's a third one.
A third Mormon lady is gonna be
Not on the show, but that's the Bachelor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the one that's gonna be the Bachelor. I think that's gonna be a good one. No,
Oh,
Taylor's on Dancing, right?
no.
Whitney
And Jen.
and Jen.
Jen is the girl that has the Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Yeah, Taylor's the one that's gonna be the Bachelorette. And
I don't watch the Mormon Wives show.
Okay, so my girlies, my producer girlies, they watch Mormon Wives, and I've watched it with them, and they like always catch me up on what's going on. That woman is the lead of that show, and she is so entertaining. That is a weird lady, and she's gonna give us a good show for The Bachelor. I don't even watch The Bachelor, and I might watch 1 or 2 episodes because
I watched the whole first season of The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, I've heard conflicting reviews because the man was a little ageist.
No, and it almost made me cry. It was so sweet. Like in live time, it was very sweet.
Yeah.
It was a very sweet show. It's like all these people just wanting a second chance at love. It was cute.
That's what everyone wants, just a little love.
Yeah, it was sweet. But I think he was a liar, and I think he said his wife like died, and maybe she didn't die or something. I guess there was weird stuff going on. But I think that like the reality TV producers, they're just doing the best they can. Like the casting, they're just like trying to find good people.
I think that's part of it too.
I need you to catch up on Love is Blind by our next live stream.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I saw too many things I don't need to see. It didn't sound like I want to see these people. They sounded terrible.
It's so
they're terrible. Why would I want to watch
It's so fun. It's so funny.
I like when there's a really good like cast of like fish out of water kind of casting a little bit more. Like how 90 Days, it's not necessarily like they're casting the same way, but then they're picking the couples. I love when they have like these random couples. So like that is more interesting to me, I guess, than Love is Blind is I'm good.
Can you hear my dog barking?
Yeah, he's going out. He's going hard.
I don't know what he's barking about.
Wait, you guys, on page 6, the story is Prince Harry grabs Meghan's butt in cheeky PDA grab. The former military pilot, 40 years old, moved his hand to Markle's lower back after the Suits alum, 40 years old, shifted positions and corrected him. Oh, he had his hand on her booty and she didn't like it, but it's also very cute.
I think it's funny that she corrected him because like anyone who's married, you're like, excuse me.
Why are you doing this?
So this is not the place for you to be touching me like that.
Time. Aaron, we went to a Mexican restaurant and like we're waiting for our food to like on this thing and I'm sitting there and I'm like, the man was like, I think the man can see you touching my butt. He's like, I didn't touch your butt. And I'm like, the man's still looking because you did.
I like that. Even H. Like us.
Like us. He's like the boys.
I like that when they're at the Beyonce shows and they dance together. I think it's cute.
It's so cute.
Let me see what my dog is crying about.
We're about to be off. We got 9 more minutes.
Okay. Well, because he's losing it. Let me go let him outside.
Okay, he needs a snack.
Yeah.
Well, if you are with us, it's Aaron and I. We're almost wrapping up our chat today. Basically, we decided that we were gonna take like us off of the green couch and to our own couch here at our houses and just chat about some pop culture stuff. So we've chatted about Meghan Markle, of course, her amazing looks at Balenciaga this weekend, them receiving the award last night. And then we got into Cardi B, the ever so popular conversation of Taylor Swift's new album. And what else did we talk about? We talked about Housewives, somehow Southern Charm. We've been
I'm back.
talking about
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, and our interpretations always of the media through our lens, just trying to see which one of these moments is relatable and like where do we see ourselves in the bigger grand scheme of storytelling and humanity, right? So it's been fun. It's been a really fun one hanging out.
This has been so much fun. Like, honestly, I say this almost every time we're on camera about this show, but we love seeing everyone's comments. We love seeing you share, telling people that you're listening to the show. We
Yeah.
had some friends tag us this week, which was so friendly and nice.
I
So,
love when people
you
tag
know,
us. It's like the nicest thing ever.
it's honestly is one of the nicest things you could do is to tag us and have tell people that you're listening to us and try to share the show. We want to reach as many people as possible. We're really trying to get our subscribers up to 1,000 on YouTube.
We
So
truly want
anything you can
1,000.
do to help us get to 1,000 would be so helpful. We're trying to get to 1,000 on Instagram too. So anything you can do to help us, like, share, subscribe, comment. But let's get more people listening to Like Us Pod and seeing who else can be like us.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Aaron and I've been having more conversations about like the project and really we've been learning so much about Megan and through the guise of this project really of just taking each episode by episode of the Netflix show with Love Megan and just seeing what this woman's doing, taking a fine tooth comb and trying to understand who she wants us to perceive her to be through the lens of this project. It's been so much fun to like see that there's so much depth to this person and that and again, we haven't met Megan. We got a gift in the mail from her or whatever, but we haven't met her. But she just seems to be like such a really warm person that cares about the type of world she wants to set up for her children and for the future. And like but that has been my biggest takeaway from this is like um and there's a couple of other things too. I think it's actually really interesting right now where like we're in a part of time where like the average American's probably not doing as well financially as they've normally been doing, just to like all the politics and things that are going on and layoffs and the like. And I think it's really interesting that this project comes out at a time where maybe people are feeling like they don't have anything. But I feel like this project has really shown that the simplest things are actually what we need in life. And it's a good reset because we've all just came out of such like an over consumption like past 20 years. And so like it's been kind of like cool to see Megan be like, yeah, you can just buy butter at the store and put some flowers on it from your backyard and it's going to look upscale and fancy. Oh, if you don't have a lot of fruit, use a smaller plate so it looks like there's a lot of fruit. Like her perspectives of just elevating the everyday are probably the need to be heard right now the most, I think, to keep people sane and to just keep people happy. Those are just my thoughts. I've just been thinking about that, like how little, like how basic, like making bread, like making things from scratch, like it's so much cheaper and
I
like
finally bought
yeah.
puff pastry. I finally bought puff pastry today since everyone was talking crap about to me in the comment section. Apparently, everyone keeps puff pastry in their freezer. So I got some at Whole Foods today.
Are
I
you
will
gonna make?
now
Are you
have
gonna make?
puff pastry.
Are you gonna make?
Actually, I'm going to tell you what my plan is. So I bought puff pastry and I also bought two string cheese sticks. And I'm gonna cut up the string cheese and I'm gonna roll up the puff pastry and I'm gonna make little cheese things. I'm gonna dip it in tomato sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of basil, some garlic, and I'm gonna make
Like
that's gonna be my first thing I make.
people
Like
were
that's my
saying,
own version of like a pizza roll.
yeah, people are saying making pizza rolls and or hot pockets.
Yeah, that's like I'm gonna make my own pizza roll or hot pocket.
I like
So that'll be my first foray. I bought the puff pastry so everyone can stop talking crap to me.
Everyone said
And
everyone was like, we all have puff pastry.
that's
They
what
all
everyone
told
said.
you that you
Everyone was
were
like, "Oh,
wrong.
you don't have that?"
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
you were so loud and wrong. You were like Gruyere cheese.
look, I will continue to be loud
You're wrong
and
about that.
like I just feel like most people I didn't think most people were just like keeping puff pastry in their I don't know. I just wasn't it wasn't my truth.
I didn't say it was our truth. I agreed that it wasn't our truth. I just said that it's other people's truth, and we should acknowledge that. That's all I said.
Also, there were some people who were like, "That's also not my truth," and for those, you are my people.
But people also said Gruyere cheese is just French Swiss cheese, and a lot of people have Swiss cheese at their house.
I just feel like everyone's doing too much, but here we are. I also have onions, so I might fully make the whole like
The French tart.
onion.
Yeah, it'll
I'm
probably be pretty good with some time.
Yeah, I might make the whole like onion kind of thing that she and Daniel made on the show because that looked delicious, and I feel like that's manageable.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well, next week, it's gonna be another weird one for us. We'll probably do another one of these. We'll probably be on again live on Friday. But then after that, we'll be back with some more new episodes. We're gonna wrap up season 2 of Megan Like Us. And then we're gonna see what happens from there. But that'll be later on this year. We're gonna still cover the Megan and Harry Christmas special too. We've been
But
trying.
we're really excited to hear what y'all think.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily crowdsourcing opinions because we have so many of our own between the two of us, but we do like to know, just like we do like to know what you think. So if if you want to leave us a comment or a DM and say someone else that you think is interesting, we are happy to kind of maybe talk about them on the live stream and go from there.
Yeah, we'd love to chat. If you guys have suggestions on people you would love to see us see if we were like, yeah, we are open. Like, who is cool? Who would you like to have us take a fine tooth comb and take a peek into? Who we
A
think they
fine
are?
tooth comb reminds me of the kids that had lice. And I just got the heebie-jeebies from a fine tooth comb. I don't like it.
I was thinking like more of like a spoolie, like when you put on mascara. Like that's specifically what I was thinking about.
I literally have a fine tooth comb right
Spoolie.
here.
Oh, that's a good brush.
My little baby hairs. Mhm.
Well, in
Speaking of,
any case,
we started this conversation talking about baby hairs.
we did.
And we're
We did
leaving
start
and we're gonna
talking.
leave talking about baby hairs. That is the bookmark of this conversation.
I love that for us. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. We're gonna sign out for now. And keep an eye. Next Friday we're gonna do another one of these. So we'll talk to you then.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.